Union Station, 41 Action News reporter Ray Daniel. Ray, you've been talking to Chiefs fans all morning from all over the place, huh? It's awesome.
Oh my gosh, Lindsay, it is absolutely amazing. You could just feel the Chiefs spirit here in Union Station, just over my shoulder. There are so many Chiefs fans just getting those photo opportunities just to take pictures and getting excited for the Super Bowl. It's funny, I actually talked to two Kansas City natives. One lives in Brooklyn now, and one lives in Chicago. And I asked them, is it a little intimidating being a Chiefs fan, knowing that you are in Jets, Giants, and Bears territory? Take a listen to what they had to say.
Jets and Giants are bad, so their fans don't really have much to talk about. So they usually are congratulating me, and Pat Mahomes is such a likable guy.
Great, because the Bears passed on Patrick Mahomes to take Mitch Trubisky, so it's something that we can always hold over them. So, and the Bears are just never good. So it's really pretty easy to be a Chiefs fan in Chicago.
Respectable shade there, of course. They are very, very excited for the game. They're going to be celebrating. There's Chiefs fans everywhere. Coming up in the 11 o'clock hour, I actually spoke to a Chiefs fan who lives in London who is bringing Kansas City barbecue to Londoners. So we'll have all that coming up. But in the meantime, if you are in Kansas City, come on down to Union Station. They are open until 9 p.m. It's going to be a great but busy time here at Union Station. I'll swing it back over to you all.
Can't wait to see that, Ray. Thank you so much. Okay, a Super Bowl surprise. How one local healthcare worker found out she was going to Super Bowl 55. From celebrating history to rising to the challenges caused by COVID-19, the pandemic pivot at a local business to help Kansas City in a time of need. You're watching Road to Repeat on 41 Action News, your home of the Kansas City Chiefs.
The coronavirus pandemic has changed almost everything about an NFL season some thought would never happen. Despite all the challenges, the Chiefs and all the games that provided us a mental break and something to cheer for as a lot of people in our community struggled. But here we are at Super Bowl 55 in Tampa.
When we're part of a team like that, we tend to feel a lot of camaraderie and connectedness, which really has been lacking during the pandemic. And so this is so good for people to be able to feel connected and kind of have this shared happiness.
We owe our safety, all of us, to the heroism and the bravery of our healthcare workers. The league is actually gifting 7,500 of them from across the country with tickets to Super Bowl 55, and 18 of them come from right in our own community in the Kansas City Metro at the University of Kansas Health System. And so we've got Charlie Keegan with us. And Charlie, you actually got to talk to some of our local healthcare workers who got the most amazing ticket in town.
Right. It couldn't get any better than this, Dia. I spoke to Dr. Rachel Leisman, who has actually never been to a Chiefs game. She spent most Sundays over the past year at the lab there at KU Hospital processing COVID-19 tests. But now she gets to go to her first Chiefs game for the Super Bowl in the stadium behind me.
It was a scramble in the laboratory.
Rachel Leisman remembers this time last year. As the director of microbiology at the University of Kansas Health System, it's her job to manage testing for infectious diseases like COVID-19.
We knew we were going to have to test. We knew we were going to have a lot of people to test.
Even before the novel coronavirus turned into a pandemic, she was in the lab, seen in footage KU Health System shared with us.
So you go in here?
That early hard work paid off. KU says it was the first hospital in Kansas City to test patients for COVID-19.
When you're called, you figure it out. You just do it. And so, yes, it was a lot of pressure, but it also was just something that we had to do, and we knew we had to do for our community.
The community turned this Casey transplant into a Chiefs fan, but she's never been to a game, and she didn't think that would change after a meeting with her bosses.
I got a text message that said, "You got to be in this meeting in 20 minutes." And I'm like, am I fired? Am I in trouble?
That pit in her stomach quickly changed.
I was stunned. And I'm still kind of stunned.
She received a free ticket to the Super Bowl in Tampa. I asked what it'll be like to walk into the stadium after a year in a windowless lab.
Rejuvenating, like finally something that feels a little bit normal, that feels like I've got all of my Chiefs friends around me and everything. And so I'm really looking forward to that feeling. I think it'll be different.
Different in the best kind of way.
Different in terms of weather, too. I had to point that out. But Rachel told me that none of this would be possible without the team that's around her. She wanted to give a special shout out to Megan, who's working in the lab back at KU today on Super Bowl Sunday. Actually tweeted out her message to Megan and the rest of her team members. Dia, much like it takes a team for the Chiefs to win, takes a team to protect all of us there in the hospital setting.
Charlie, Keegan, thank you for that. And we are all so grateful to our healthcare workers out there. You know, once the pandemic set in, we began to realize the impact it would have. Those restrictions and shutdowns that were designed to keep us safe caused a lot of our businesses, big and small, to shut down and even struggle. You know, when struggles happen, when challenges come, Kansas City always responds. That's really the story of Jay Rieger and company. They're like a lot of us. They went from a Super Bowl celebration to an unprecedented pandemic, but they found a way to address an urgent need in our community and our country in a way that only they could. The Jay Rieger and Company slogan is "Oh so good." That was the feeling after Super Bowl 54.
We're excited, we're proud, and it also means a lot for our business, for our products.
But coming off that thrilling victory, the Stills got still.
Oh, there was no other option. And there was never a question. You know, as soon as that happened, there was no chance that we were just going to fold and give up. I mean, we were going to fight.
Not just for the business, but the people who built it and the people who needed them.
Well, that need was hand sanitizer. You know, one thing that we have plenty of is alcohol.
The distillery turned drive-through pumped out more than 100,000 gallons of hand sanitizer, making the pivot at the start of the pandemic.
Being able to kind of pivot what we were doing and just run full speed and be able to make hand sanitizer, something that none of us ever thought we were going to do, but being able to do that and do it well and then get that out and kind of fulfill a need that none of us thought was going to be able to happen, that was such a weird feeling, but it was kind of this, I was just incredibly grateful that I was actually able to do something that was helpful.
Not just for Kansas City, but we were shipping it to hospitals in New York early on in the pandemic, and we were shipping it to California to Trader Joe's later on. So it's been crazy.
Now the Chiefs are taking the field for another Super Bowl.
It's this thing we can all be together on. It's so hard to do that sometimes.
And spirits are flowing high.
We got a little bit of flash, but at the heart of what we do, we're gritty and we're tough and we're resilient. You know, and I think that kind of goes into not just the Chiefs, but Kansas City as a whole. That's how I would describe our town.
Still to come on Road to Repeat.
You're thrilled and excited and so many emotions.
The special mission a crew from Whiteman will carry out on game day. You are watching 41 Action News, your home of the Chiefs.
A big thank you to our healthcare workers as we look forward to Super Bowl 55. That cheer coming from the University of Kansas Health System. They've been working so hard for months and months. While the Chiefs team prepare for Super Bowl 55, another team from Missouri preparing for the big game. You'll see them before kickoff. The B-2 bomber from Whiteman Air Force Base will fly over Raymond James Stadium. 41 Action News talked with the pilot this week.
When I was 11, actually, I got to go to the Rose Bowl parade and saw my first B-2 bomber then. So I was 11 years old, and I got to see the B-2 do the flyover there. And so I was really inspired as a kid, just seeing the aircraft. I loved it, and that's kind of when I knew I wanted to fly.
Along with the pilot, a whole crew will help with the flyover. 41 Action News reporter Mackenzie Nelson talked with the crew, who was really excited to take part in the ceremony.
Whiteman Air Force Base has done